Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Siakam, my channel where you get predictions, analysis, reviews, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. There hasn't been much going on considering it's NFL season, so there hasn't been much videos. But recently there was an interview by Pascal Siakam that I found very interesting, and I felt there needed to be some sort of review on it because some of the stuff he said didn't sit well with me. Anyways, just like I do in all of my videos, before I get into the main content, I talk about something else. And something else for today is kind of related to sports, and it's about, how refs need to do their job in a manner that's at least, adequate. And the reason this thought came to my mind is because I play cricket with, I have my own team, and we play, Power Cricket Club is the name, and we play cricket in a league in Toronto. And we were in a game where if we won, we were in the playoffs. If the other team won, they would have been in the playoffs. And we worked our ass off all season. I was injured, so I was out of the game. But I was watching it, and I'm the captain of the team. So I saw my guys put it all out there, work their ass off, and pretty much bring the game to a stage where we knew we were gonna win. And nothing against the umpire, but the umpire that is equivalent of referees in NBA was responsible for scoring. So what he was doing was he was looking at his phone, and there was a play that occurred, and during that play he was looking in his phone and the other team appealed, as in they asked if that was out. That's how cricket works. And he, without even seeing the play, decided to say that our player was out. And what that did was it changed the momentum. That guy was our guy, Nihal. He was scoring the runs. We had all of the momentum in the game. And even the players from the opposing side that were sitting outside said that our guy wasn't out. But that umpire gave it out. And it cost us our season. Because if we would have won that game, I'm not trying to be a sore loser. I never argue calls because it's in the game. You can make a good or bad decision, but when you're not even looking at the what's happening, how can you make a decision that can impact the game in that way? So something else for today is that sometimes you do all what you can, you try your best, but in the end, bad decisions can cost people games. And that is exactly what happened to us this weekend. So if there's ever a situation with you like that, we dealt with it in the sense that we just, you exercise your frustrations. But again, in the end, it's part of the game. You have to take a step back, and we still had a fun season and enjoyed the hell out of the cricket, and that's the reason we started our team. So shout out to all the Power CC guys, and loved every minute of it, even though it ended bad. And it wasn't, honestly, it was not anything to do with our play on the field. But without further ado, let's get into Pascal Siakam's interview. So recently, Pascal Siakam did an interview with what I think it's New York Journal. I don't know exactly what it is, but it was a news service in New York. And he pretty much kind of threw the Raptors under the bus and showed why what I said about him, his mentality changing, or, honestly, he just kind of made it more obvious that he's not that guy. And the reason is, let me tell you, people who may have not read the interview. So the reporter asked, Pascal about his struggles, or, why he's the guy and all that stuff. And he actually said that when he was paid the $40 million per year, he still didn't know if he was the guy. And he said that there was no communication by the Raptors telling him he is the guy. And that's kind of why his performance wasn't up to the mark, because he was all this confused and shit. Let me tell you, Pascal, when you're paid the highest amount, you are the guy. Okay? Take a company. Why does Jeff Bezos make the most money? He's the CEO, right? He's going to make the most money because he's the guy. And then everybody below them, as you know, there's a second guy, he gets paid according to the second guy. There's the third guy who gets paid according to the third guy. You got 40 million, the highest paid player, which means you were supposed to be the guy. So Messiah Ujiri doesn't have to come up to you and be like, hey, Pascal, you are going to be the guy. He paid you the money, telling you you are the guy. You're acting like, one of those people like, oh, you need to tell me you love me. It's not good enough to show me. Like, what the hell are you talking about, man? This is professional sports where you make the most amount of money. You were the first option when we won the the second option when we won the championship. Kawhi left, right? Any normal, any reasonable human being would contemplate that Pascal was the second guy when Kawhi was here. So if Kawhi leaves, then who's left? Pascal, you're the first guy. It's obvious. Kyle Lowry's always been the leader. Okay, every team needs a leader. Okay, but that doesn't mean that person has to be their best player. Take, for example, the Miami Heat when LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade were there. LeBron was the best player, but the leader of that team, no doubt, was Dwayne Wade. So Pascal said, oh, Kyle Lowry was there, so I thought he was the guy. Dude, what are you talking about? Everybody knew you were supposed to be the guy because you were the second guy when Kawhi was here. So if the first guy leaves, of course the second guy is supposed to be the first guy. You got paid like a first guy. So you stating that Masai didn't communicate properly, the Raptors didn't communicate properly, and that's why you didn't take that next step. It's complete and utter bullshit. And it pissed me off. I love Pascal. I love his game. I think he's just been struggling because of the situation around COVID. Fans just ragging on him and all of those things. I get it. But this type of, the things he said in like, well, I didn't know I was a guy, kind of just shows you like, what kind of mentality do you have, man? Like, okay, they didn't tell you were the guy, but it should have been from you internally saying, I'm going to be the guy. I got 40 million. I need to live up to those $40 million, right? It comes from a person within. And that's kind of why it makes me doubt that Pascal should be the first guy. He shouldn't be. OG Anunoby should be now the first guy for this team, or Gary Trent Jr. Why? Because they have that killer mentality. They want that ball at the end of the season, end of the game. They don't want to be told they are the guy. They want to show they are the guy. Okay? And I honestly, reading that interview from Pascal just pissed me off. And there was something that I'm going to get to that I think Pascal was right and very justified in bringing up. But this thing about I didn't know I was the guy is complete and utter nonsense, and it does not create any sort of confidence in Raptors fans in Pascal Siakam and going forward as the guy. Because honestly, his offensive game is good, but I think OG has a better ceiling, and this season I think OG is gonna be the guy. He's gonna be even better than Pascal. So that kind of pissed me off. Now, apparently, I guess Masai has to give a call to Pascal, be like, hey, baby, you are my guy. I love you, step up. No. But Pascal, grow up, man. Grow up. That your bullshit about not knowing you were the guy does not justify your performances. We understand what happened to you. We understand all of that stuff. But if you want to be... Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. Nick Nurse gave you the ball 5 fucking times during the season where he told you take the shot at the end of the game to win the game. That tells you are the guy. How much more do you need? Do you need a freaking banner in the air in, Toronto or, Tampa Bay where you were saying, hey, Pascal, you are the guy? Come on, man. Grow up. You're 20, 28, 27. You need to... this type of shit that you brought up in that interview just made the Raptors look bad. And you just tried to cover yourself for your bad performances because you made it sound that, oh, you were in two minds. There was no reason for you to be in two minds, okay? So that's just my, that's just my opinion about what he said on that aspect of being the guy. In regards to the second point I read, like he said that, he was very, I wouldn't say traumatized, but he was very upset with how what type of shit he had to deal with the fans. Now, I understand Raptor fans are upset. We paid him $40 million. I'm upset. But it never justifies racial comments. It never justifies bringing up his father's not being proud of him when his father is dead. Right? That type of stuff is what makes athletes leave teams, and that is utter and completely nonsensical from any person who actually said that. So I'm completely with Pascal on that stuff will screw with your mind. And Raptors fan, it's a plea to you guys, never do that to anybody, man. Even if it's an athlete, somebody any of that stuff. Nobody deserves to hear shit from people who don't know about their lives. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that can happen in a person's life that even a smallest comment or a smallest thing will send them to a different place, and you don't want to do that to somebody. So I agree with Pascal on that might have affected his mind. Okay, and that is the reason why maybe he struggled. But his so like that is one point that is we got to keep in mind as fans and as people that watch sports and see these athletes entertain us. We don't own them. Okay, they provide us with a service. We have a right to criticize them, but there are limits to those criticisms. You cannot use racial shit. You cannot use somebody's father's death against them, and all of that stuff is utter bullshit, and it should stop. But like, I'm one of those guys. If somebody has a proper point, like Pascal's racial, all that slur, and stuff, causing him mental anguish, I agree with that. But I do not agree with his bullshit about, oh, he's not the guy, or they didn't tell me I was the guy, all of that stuff. Because honestly, if I was being paid $40 million, I was the highest paid person in my law firm or in my job or whatever, I would know I'm the guy, right? I'm supposed to be the guy. Now, if I become that guy, okay, that means they see that in me, and that's why they pay me that much. But if I don't become that guy, that's on me. That's not on the organization not telling me you're supposed to be the guy. That's just you being shit. So, Pascal, step up your game, bro. You are supposed to be the guy, but I don't think you will be anymore, because we got some killers coming in. Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent are our future. But again, if you step up your game, we respect your game. We think you're supposed to be the guy, but you haven't proven it. So now you got to earn it back. And nobody, even if somebody tells you that you're supposed to be the guy, it doesn't mean shit. You have to perform that way. Nobody needs to tell Kawhi that he's the guy. He just knew he was the guy. Nobody needed to tell LeBron he was the guy. He knew he was the guy. So from that point of view, Pascal's interview kind of just rated on the Raptors, and I did not like it. And I think he needs to grow up a little bit. He needs to understand how to be a professional, and he needs to understand that even if he's, he needs to become a leader, considering he's probably the second oldest person on this team now after, because I'm not counting Goran Dragic. Okay, that guy's a different story altogether. But come on, Pascal, not cool, man. So this might have sounded like a video that goes against Pascal, but as a Raptors fan, hearing somebody tell that our organization wasn't up to the mark in helping them improve is just utter stuff that I don't enjoy and I don't like. And because it never happened, if the Raptors did Raptors not telling him kind of screwed his game over and all that stuff, and it was absolutely necessary for Raptors to tell him, then the Raptors would be liable. But no, in this situation, Pascal screwed up, and he needs to improve himself, and he can't keep finding excuses for this. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys the next time. Please keep talking Raptors, even if there's not much going on, but every now and then we will keep talking them. And then once the season starts, oh man, there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. Anyways, see you guys for next time.